This program is generously supported by Transcanada, the leading energy infrastructure company in North America. If you're not able to make it to the live broadcast here in the hat, but instead are listening to us on CKUA, you can enter into a draw for a black CKUA hoodie and a copy of 10,000, a CD from the Agnostic Mountain Gospel Choir. To enter, tell us what you think of the show tonight by going to the CKUA Facebook fan page. You'll find a link to the fan page on the CKUA website at ckua.com. Jackson-Phibes and Bob Keelahan from the group are about to join me for a chat. Jackson-Phibes and Bob Keelahan of the Agnostic-Phibes Rhythm and Blood Conspiracy. Oh, and I see that there's some rather elaborate maneuvering going on. For the listeners in the CKUA radio audience, no, they don't just clap when I say CKUA radio audience. They were clapping for the incomparable Jackson-Phibes. Hello, Jackson.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing extremely well. Jackson-Phibes is joining me in front of the stage, which I should explain is the stage of not merely a theater. The Monarch is not merely a historic theater in Medicine Hat. It's a cinema, in fact, and so as such it has a rather compressed stage, which is designed for the screening of motion pictures, not so much for housing a four-piece roots rock band. So
you gotta be skinny.
Well, you gotta be skinny, my friend, in order to make it on this stage. And we have a couple of rather skinny individuals joining us right now. Bob Keelahan is still on stage. Bob, how are you making out over there?
I'm doing okay.
Bob, it seems to me that the reason that you are sitting on the stage at your position, your guitar station, where you sing and play the acoustic guitar, is you sort of suffered a rather Albertan sort of problem recently. What was that?
Yeah, I contracted polio. just goes to show you're actually vaccinated.
Well, be that as it may, you also, I think, had an alpine mishap of some sort?
Yeah, I broke my ankle snowboarding.
Okay, very good. So I'd have to say there's probably in the greater world where we have lots of terrific blues singers, some of them as deeply entrenched in the music as you are, you might be one of the only ones to have broken a bone snowboarding recently. Would that be fair to say, you think?
Yeah, it's the blues.
That's the blues, man. All right, well, Bob, I want to ask you to begin. I'm going to ask a few questions, and I'm going to start off with what I think is probably a fairly easy one, just to warm up. Can you introduce the members of the band?
Yeah, we've got Jackson-Phibes on electric guitar and lead vocals. And sitting behind the drum kit, Mr. Jason Woolley. And the far side of the stage with a nicely painted stand-up bass, Mr. Vladimir Sobolewski.
Well, Bob, can you tell us how the Agnostic-Phibes Rhythm and Blood Conspiracy feedback on the stage right now? Can you tell us how the conspiracy came together?
Yeah, it was like a few years ago. It started with sort of a joke between myself and Tom. We were out somewhere one night, and I was telling him about some of the festivals that the choir was going to play. And he was saying, oh yeah, I should get myself on that folk festival circuit, tongue-in-cheek. And anyone who's heard Forbidden Dimension would know, like the punchline to that gig. But so like right at that moment, I just said to him, well, how about you write some murder ballads? Like knowing that, like Forbidden Dimension deal with a lot of dark subject matter. And I said, well, write some murder ballads, we'll back you up. And we both said, that's kind of a good idea. So like, it took us like about 4 years of us just saying, we should really do that. And then Judd Palmer from the Agnostic Mountain Gospel Choir moved out of town, and we were still getting some good offers, so it just seemed like a good time to actually do what we're talking about.
And when you say Tom, that's the street name for our friend.
Yeah, that's the nickname. Sorry, that's the nickname for Jackson-Phibes. His stage name, Tom.
His pseudonym is Tom. Very good. We all have to have showbiz names, I suppose. In fact, speaking of stages, Tom, I'm not sure if there's any level on the Jackson-Phibes microphone at the moment.
That's all right.
I'm
not coming through your headphones at all right now.
I wish I could tell you, but I have a feeling that everything is A-okay in Radio Land, in which case...
People would be phoning in. Oh, wait, there we go.
All right.
Yeah.
I knew you were always one to play a little hard to get.
There you go.
Jackson, I think it would probably be fair to say that your music in the past with bands like Color Me Psycho and Forbidden Dimension, they are, the music of those groups might be described as delightfully hard to pin down. I'm not sure if that's fair to say or not, but how do you manage to attract punk rock and also folk music fans simultaneously?
Well, it's the kind of punk rock that I play is sort of based on like 60s garage rock, which is based on what the English were reinterpreting the blues, so it's almost like third-hand blues influence anyway, but then, yeah, down the road a few. So yeah, extra things, like there's some heavy metal in there, and there is actually some weird bluegrassy things occasionally in there, but yeah, no, it's all kind of a big mess, so it seems to work.
It's a wonderful morass, yes. So you're saying you're kind of influenced by people in different epochs that are essentially influenced by the same thing collectively.
Yeah, it comes down the pike. You get the blues influence in there, and even if it's punk rock, the way that we play it, it still has a blues structure. It might have some pop influence in it, and then like the heavy metal guitar sound, so it's all in there.
All right, well, it's fair to say that you guys all share some musical roots. I think it's fair to say in the Agnostic-Phibes Rhythm and Blood Conspiracy, and I know that a lot of you guys have been deeply into lots of different sorts of music over the years. And Bob, was there a favorite album or artist that you discovered when you were younger that inspired you to become a musician yourself?
It's kind of hard to say, but if I was to like maybe pick some sort of point, it might have been my sister Mark's copy of Led Zeppelin 4. Because I think Black Dog is like one of the first songs I can remember hearing, and it made me want to bounce off the walls when I was about 6 years old. And when I was a teenager learning how to play, you know, Led Zeppelin, they're a pretty diverse group, you know, doing everything from, you know, like their early heavy metal, English folk, and a lot of blues, and that was kind of like a gateway into like playing this kind of music eventually. And I guess like the other things about that is, you know, the other thing about Led Zeppelin 4 is that if you're a musician, you're good and you're successful, you can pick your own metaphysical symbol to represent you can be known as Zoso, I think, and it hasn't happened yet.
Well, I wish you all the best, that's for sure. Well, you certainly are interested in lots of things. In fact, everybody in the band is passionate about music, but also deeply into many other art forms. Bob, I was wondering if you could tell me about your interest in the Polish writer Richard Kapuscinski.
Yeah, he's just one of my favorite writers. He's, for those who don't know who he is, he's a journalist, Polish journalist. He was a foreign correspondent during the Iron Curtain years. He's written a lot of these really great books about, you know, the politics of the third world. And he's one of these guys who can, he's kind of like a gonzo journalist. He's kind of like one of the great true gonzo journalists because he throws himself into civil wars and reports on them. But he's really good about putting like a human face on international conflicts and really complex political conflicts in parts of the world that are hard to understand. Actually, sort of bring this full circle, it was actually P.T. Bonham, drummer for Forbidden Dimension, who actually had introduced me. He was the guy who lent me the first Kapuscinski book, Shaw of Shaws.
He's got a nice library.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, he's a really tremendous writer. If you haven't read him, I recommend checking him out.
Well, in Jackson 5, you're a very well-known graphic illustrator. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I work as a cartoonist mostly. Then I can get away with being sloppy. So it works out pretty good. If you say cartoonist, then it's the lowest. It's below illustrator. And the artist is up high, so cartoonist at the bottom. But yeah, it's pretty good. I do that freelance. I do draw books and record covers and the old Chicks Dig It records and Huevos Rancheros and my own bands and stuff like that.
Some highly iconic Albertan images.
Yeah, it's been doing it for a while. And then I also teach cartooning to little kids at the Art Center through the city of Calgary and corrupt young minds in a good positive way. It's nice.
Well, I wonder if I could ask you to corrupt a few more with your music.
Let's do it.
All right, turning back to their main passion, and that is the music. We're going to get another song here from the Agnostic-Phibes Rhythm and Blood Conspiracy here on Alberta Backstage on the CKUA radio network. Bob, what are you going to play for us next?
We're going to play a song called Wendigo, which is about the legend of the Wendigo. Jackson, Tim, can tell you about it better. Now, the legend of the Wendigo is
Let's say, yeah, it's kind of a folklore, that's sort of into all the supernatural kind of stuff here. And this was actually a good Canadian-born one. There's all kinds of books and movies, and there's a character the Hulk fought called the Wendigo, and that's what I first heard about when I was a little kid. It sort of could either be the Sasquatch thing, or it could be the cannibalism, you know, from being the isolation and the wind, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just sort of to throw it all into one song here. So here we go. It's all Wendigo song. Folklore. Cryptozoological folklore.
Hours and tune just a second ago. Oh, take it away. Take it.
Wind.
Take it away, Jason Will.
Unspeakable and grim from our childhood to what I've never seen. Ain't no living creature in its path that shall remain. It's a sense of foul that touches unseen. Yeah, a sense of foul that touches unseen. Down, 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 broken children linger at my side. Down, 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 broken chill upon your back, I'll ride. Way up above the treetops, I won't go tonight. Now a shaggy beast almost akin to man, with a tower down on its head. Others of a windborne fiend that takes a person's soul. They will drive their 2 feet on human flesh. Yeah, it drives their 2 feet on human flesh. Down, 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 broken chill on your back, alright. Down, 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 broken chill at my side. Way up above the treetops, at one with the frozen night. Something so primordial, coming and drawing from my bed. It's something so primordial, all the birds fill it up with red. Springtime staggering to town, my face all withdrawn, and none shall recognize me as I pass. Urging me to speak, I'll sit in silent trance, then I'll crumble down into